Hello tribe, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Rafiki. I do videos about sustainability, minimalism and lifestyle, so if you like this type of content, please subscribe, don't forget to hit the notification bell, and welcome to the tribe. But without further ado, let's jump into today's video.
Hello my students, welcome to the class today. Thank you for being here. Thank you all. How are you today? Good, very well, very nice. So, today's class is going to be about budgeting to travel. So, how to budget to travel. So, today I'm going to use an example. I'm going to use Thailand. Let's go. Apply it to everything, and you can use it in every type of trip that you're going to do. Okay, this is a one method fits all. First of all, the most important thing when you are budgeting is
research.
Correct. So research is very important when we are traveling. Okay, first of all, before you do anything, you have to research. Okay, then how are you going to do your research? First of all, what I like to call the general aspect of traveling. What this includes is flights, visas, and extras like, for example, Southeast Asia that I'm going. You need vaccines, you need extra medicine for malaria. So, first of all, what I did is I saw for the time that I was traveling, this case November, the median price of a flight to Thailand. I saw a visa if I was going to stay for more than a month, that it's the case, and medicine plus I do an extra in the total, you're going to see later. So what I calculated for the flight, the visa, medication, and the flight back, so going to come back, it was 1,500 on this case pounds, already including the safety nets. So this is the first thing that you do when you are budgeting. You do your research and you do it by category. The first category is general aspects of traveling, like flights, visas, medication, all of that. Next, you move on to the second thing that costs the most money, is accommodation. So now, accommodations, I do my research, and what I do is the minimum that I would pay for accommodation in Thailand, the maximum I would pay for accommodation in Thailand for one night. Okay, this I always do it for a day normally. So things that you have to consider here. Regarding to accommodations, it will always going to depend on your type of traveling. If you prefer hotels, or if you're traveling as a family, or if you're traveling solo. In my case, this is solo. Okay, the example that I'm going to give here, Thailand, traveling solo. Values that I'm going to give you is always maximum to 10 beds. I don't mind being mixed, like boys and girls. But the thing is, the rating on Booking, that it's the app that I use for my research, it has to be over 8 stars. Okay, so with this in mind, the minimum that I saw, it was £4, okay, per night, and the maximum thing in 4 stars hotels, the more expensive type, for this value that was £10 a night, You can easily stay in a resort, a bungalow, all of that. Everyone following? Yeah? Good? Yeah? Good. So, then what I do is I multiply this amount for the number of days that I'm going to stay in Thailand. In my case, I'm going to stay roughly 2 months. So I multiply it for 60, that it's 60 days, and it came up to 248 pounds, the minimum that I would spend on accommodation for that amount of time, and the maximum was 620 pounds. So 62 days. I always like to put the maximum so I don't have any surprises. So the maximum days of a month is 31 days. So I multiply this for 62, and this is, so the minimum that I was going to spend in Thailand in accommodation was, for 2 months, 248 pounds. The maximum was 620 pounds. The second thing that you spend most money on is food. So then I research, I normally go to blogs. You can easily find this information on the internet. And I apply again the same method. The minimum I would spend per day, okay? The maximum I would spend per day on food. Again, here it's up to you. In this category, I normally do most of my meals eating out, but mainly being street food, market, rich spending. Minimum would be £5 a day for food, and the maximum amount would be 15 pounds. Then once again I multiply this for the number of days I'm going to stay in Thailand. It came up to 310 pounds, and the maximum 930 pounds. Transportation. And now you say, oh, but Rafiki, you already did it, like flights and everything. Okay, but here you have to keep in mind that if you're only going to stay in one city and do everything by foot, that's okay. I'm going to be traveling all over Thailand, so I'm going to be catching tuk-tuks, trains, buses, boats. So I have to take this into consideration. That's why I'm putting it here. If you're going to stay in just one city, walking, if you want my advice, always keep this into consideration, because if something happens, you go out at night and you're going to take a cab or something, you're going to spend money on transportation. So please, in my advice, always take transportation into account when you're traveling. If it's like 1 month, 2 months, or just a weekend, just have this always into consideration. Once again, minimum, maximum. Okay, I did. This is for the 2 months, okay, because I'm not traveling every day. I did the average for the 2 months. So I researched the normal price of a tuk-tuk, a bus, and a night train, or the trains. I already have my itinerary already more or less sorted out, so I know the number of traveling that I need to do inside the country. Minimum that I estimated that I'm going to spend in transportation in Thailand, it's 100 pounds, and the maximum is 300 pounds. The last category is extras. So what is extras? Is if you want to go to a monument, the entry fee. If you want to do a special activity, for example, I'm thinking about doing my diving course in Thailand, so that's an extra, so I put it on that. I did a fixed price. it was around 500 pounds. And why is that? Just the diving course, it's around 300, so I gave myself an extra 200 pounds if I want to do any other activities in Thailand. So then I do the total. If I was going to spend the minimum and the maximum on the trip, 1,158 pounds, and the maximum would be 2,350 pounds. I would need for 2 months in Thailand 1,158 pounds, and if I always spend like the maximum, I would need 2,350 pounds. Okay, so extra tip: if you're like me and you have a normal job and you have to save up to travel, what I find that helps me is I do in between. So I sum this and I divide it by 2, and I have my in between values. In this case was 1,754 pounds. So if I wanted to be more comfortable, not always being on the minimum but controlling my expenses, the ideal for me to spend on 2 months would be 1,754 pounds. If you went by month, this was the total of 877 pounds. I want my this to go next year on November, so I have a year and a half to save up. What I did is I divided the amount that I need for my travels for the months that I have up to the day that I'm traveling. I divided that amount for, in my case, 16 months, I think, 16 months. And then I came up with the amount that I need to save per month to make sure that I have this amount of money when I'm traveling. I always aim for the maximum that I need to save, because then if some months I cannot save that much, I'm okay, because at least I save the months before a little bit more than the minimum. Always have an emergency fund. In my case, it's going to be 2,000 because I went to Southeast Asia. I'm going to third world countries, so I don't know if I would need medical assistance. This is how I do it. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any doubts, please leave it in the comments down below. See you in the next video, guys. Bye!